So now we are going to talk about the Detroit Lions and their 2022 NFL schedule. So their preseason week 1 they're against Falcons and they're against Colts in week 2 at Indianapolis, and then they close out the preseason at Pittsburgh. I'm going to try to go to that game. So hopefully I can get some good intel and be able to see the Lions play in person in Pittsburgh, make the trip out there, and really get to watch them. I'm not going to make prediction of the preseason because the year they went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason. I have no idea what they're going to be able to do in the preseason, but in the regular season, I have made some predictions. So week 1, September 11th, on a Sunday, they are home against the Eagles. And if you saw the Lions play the Eagles last year, you probably turned off your TV because, oh my goodness, that game was awful. So I believe they will do it again in Lions fashion. They will lose. Week 2, I believe they will beat the Commanders because they are at home. I believe that Eagles loss week 1 will propel them into being like, okay, enough messing around. We are going to come out and smack this team in the face at home. We are not losing again in back-to-back weeks. And the Commanders aren't very strong, so I believe the Lions will win week 2. So at the end of week 2, they will be 1-1. Week 3, they play against Minnesota on a Sunday. And since it's at Minnesota, I don't think they're going to win. They might lose. It came down to the game-winning field goal last year, but Dalvin Cook's healthy. Justin Jefferson will probably be healthy. And somehow, some way, there will be growing pains, and the Lions will find a way to lose week 3. But week 4, they are home against the Seahawks, and they'll have a win. So they are going to play the Seahawks at home with Drew Lock at quarterback. And after, it's probably going to be a close loss to the Vikings. So they will be, again, fired up, ready to beat that team into the turf at Ford Field. But then they follow up, and they will play the Patriots at New England, and I just have a bad feeling that Bill Belichick has got something up his sleeve where the Lions will lose week 5, and then they will head into their week 6 bye at 2-3. Then they come out of their bye and they play Dallas, in Jerry World, and they will lose just because the Cowboys are a better team. And then they will play the Dolphins at home, and I believe the Dolphins will beat the Lions because there is nobody in that Detroit secondary that I don't think will be able to keep up with Tyreek Hill. Now, they might surprise me and beat the Dolphins because of a man over there as their quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. That game will be another close game. So the Lions will lose 2 straight before they play the Packers on Sunday in Detroit, and they'll lose again. The Lions will go on a 4-game losing streak over 5 weeks. It's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It's very hard to beat that team. And I have a feeling the Packers are going to sign Odell Beckham Jr., and that will potentially be a massacre. But then the following 2 weeks, they are on the road, and they play the Bears and the Giants, and I believe they will win both games. I believe the Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFC North. They are not very good. They have a new head coach, new GM. They're totally in the rebuilding stages, where the Lions are, yes, they're in the rebuilding stages, but they are going to be competitive around this time of the year. Same when it comes to playing the Giants in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I believe the Lions will get the best of Daniel Jones, and Aiden Hutchinson will have a big game. And it's going to be the battle between the top 2 defensive ends from last year's draft class in Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson. When Penei Sewell is blocking Kayvon Thibodeau, I hope he puts his former teammate into the dirt just to prove that the Lions made the right choice at picking Aiden Hutchinson at 2 when Kayvon Thibodeau for a while was supposed to be the number 1 player in the class, and then he was supposed to fall to number 2 to the Lions, and then he fell all the way to the Giants. But I feel like the Giants did get a steal in Kayvon Thibodeau, but the Giants team is struggling, and Detroit is starting to get the right pieces, and hopefully around this time, Jameson Williams will be healthy. It might be his first or second game back, and hopefully Jared Goff doesn't do what Jared Goff does and Goff it up. So then the Lions come back home, and on a Thursday they play their Thanksgiving game, the traditional Thanksgiving game, where half of America is calling for the Lions to no longer be on Thanksgiving, which hurts my feelings. That is one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions, is to watch the Lions play football, whether win or lose. I love watching them play, wear their classic uniforms, and eat some good food. But it's the Buffalo Bills. Why would we schedule the Buffalo Bills on Thanksgiving? Like, maybe it's to get the Bills another primetime game, another game where they're featured on TV and the whole country's watching. But I will probably leave after the third quarter, because I know in the fourth quarter the Lions will find a way to screw it up against a very good Buffalo Bills team. I believe the Lions will be competitive in that game just because it's Thanksgiving, but the better team will win, and that's going to be Buffalo. So then, here is where things get interesting in the season. They play the Jaguars, the Vikings, and the Jets. I believe they will go on a 3-game win streak there. So they will be 5-1 over that 6-game span after losing to the Packers. And it will be a great time to be a Lions fan. They'll beat up on the Jaguars and show Jacksonville that they messed up, because they are playing Jacksonville at home. So the Jaguars will have to come up and play the Lions in the Dome. And Aiden Hutchinson will show why he is the better pass rusher than Trayvon Walker. And then they play the Vikings at home, and they're going to want revenge. And Ford Field is going to be electric for that game, and we will beat up on the Vikings. And then the Lions make the trip back out to East Rutherford, New Jersey, to play the other team from New York, the Jets, Jets. And that is a dumpster fire of a team. They had a great draft. Their GM really surprised me this year, was all the moves he made and all the picks. But they're not ready yet. They do not want their kneecaps ripped off by the Lions from the 3-1-3. Then they play Christmas Eve, Week 16 against the Panthers. And it will be coal in my stocking, because they will find a way to lose, because I believe if Christian McCaffrey is healthy, that Lions defense is going to struggle. And I believe the emergence of J.C. Horn at corner is going to be a problem for the Lions, and Goff will probably be thinking about his really attractive model of a girlfriend and hope that his Christmas gift is a kiss from her under the mistletoe, and he will get distracted in the game and find a way to lose. So then, week 17 and 18, they close out the season with the Bears and the Packers, their two biggest rivals. They're home against the Bears on New Year's Day, when everyone's going to be watching the college football games and the bowl games and all that, because of the New Year's Day bowl games. But guess what? The Lions will win. They will beat the Bears. They'll beat them twice. Because the Bears aren't like that. They don't want the smoke from the Lions. The Lions are tired of being second fiddle to the Bears. But the Bears are the worst team in the NFC North next year. The Lions will win. So going in to Week 18, they'll be 8-8. And they will play the Packers at Lambeau Field. And they'll lose. The Lions will lose. So they'll finish this season at 8-9. So they won't make the playoffs. But 8-9, if I'm a Lions fan, after the seasons we've had, I'll take it. And that will be something to work with going into the offseason. And Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes will sit there and be like, you know what? We had a great past two drafts. We are one piece away. Whether we make a trade, a free agent signing, or drafting a young stud in possibly Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, but that won't happen because the Lions will be 8-9 and they won't be picking that early. So if they want to improve from 8-9, they are going to need to make a splash outside of the draft, or they make a trade on draft day to draft one of those guys. So I have 5 keys to success for the Lions so they can win games. So the first one, better decision making from the coaches and the QB. I want to see more consistency. The Lions coaching staff went to a camp, seminar, something like that, where they learned how to coach better in clutch situations in big games. The Thanksgiving game last year sticks out to me the most because what were we doing? We let the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, come into Ford Field on Thanksgiving Day and ruin it for me. I was so happy the Lions were going to beat the Bears on Thanksgiving because I have friends and all that are Bears fans, and I wanted to talk so much crap to them and ruin their Thanksgiving, but they ruined mine because the coaching staff blew it. And I want to see more consistency from the quarterback. In Jared Goff, in his first 7 games, he had 10 turnovers. What are you doing? Protect the football. And we are competitive in those games. The Lions had a winning record against the spread, so you can best believe that Lions fans should bet the Lions to cover the spread every single week, and you will come out on top. But the rest of the season, Jared Goff only had 4 turnovers. He turned it around, and that's why the Lions played so well towards the end of the season. And they beat up on the Cardinals at home. And they had, the last half of the season, it was awesome to be a Lions fan. But at the same time, we're like, stop winning. Stop winning. We want the number 1 pick. But at the same time, we're all competitive. We all want our teams to do well. We all want the Lions to win. So I'm cheering, let's win these games. Scrap the draft pick. I want to see what we can do now. And if we can play well, hopefully it's something to build on in the offseason, which I hope we are doing. It looks like we are doing it. Khalif Raymond just said the other day at training camp that Jared Goff is one of the greats. Do I believe that to be true? No. But I'm glad to see the team is starting to rally around Jared Goff. Because Jared Goff, you have 1 year to prove yourself, my friend. Obviously, he's got more than 1 year, but if you put up another stinker year, you might be out the door. Because I don't feel like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will have that much patience with Jared Goff this year. So it leads me to my next point for key to success. The Lions defense needs to step up. Yes, they just added Aiden Hutchinson, and they've added other key pieces here and there. But the Lions had the 4th worst total defense in the NFL, and that somewhat stems from the offense not staying on the field. And the defense, when you are out there for X amount of plays, you are tired, you get fatigued, and there are just more plays, there are more chances for things to happen. And the Lions gave up 27 points per game. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. It is very hard, especially with that offense and the play calling that we had last year, for the offense to put up 28 points per game. So the Lions defense needs to step up this year. They need to be what propels the team. They need to bring that energy so the offense can go out there and just sling that puppy, run the rock, do what they do. Have a balanced attack. Going into the next point. The third point. Detroit is one of the better rushing teams. They were good they had a lot of 20-plus yard carries. And their running backs, on average, as a team, they averaged 4.4 yards per carry. So all you football fans know, you have 4 downs to move the ball 10 yards. And as the legendary head coach Rick Weiss would say, I'm not no math magician, but if you run the ball 3 straight times, statistically you should get 12 yards, but that's not going to happen. You should at least be able to get 10. Right? Like, at least run the ball a little bit more. We didn't run the ball really at all. Like, on the first play of a drive, the percentage to run the ball was 24%. That's how I love to start a drive. Run the ball. Gain a little bit of positive yardage, so you're not sitting there at 2nd and 10 throwing the ball, and then you're stuck at 3rd and 10, and it's a 3rd and long situation, and your playbook condenses. You only have a certain amount of plays that get you 10 yards. You only have a certain amount of plays that get you 15, 20, and etc. You need to run the ball, Detroit. Dan Campbell, if you are listening, run the football. Sorry, I got off on a little rant right there. I am very passionate about running the ball, if you were not able to tell. But the Lions, come on, man. Like, run the ball. Like, it's not the flashy passing that everybody loves to tune in and watch. But everybody loves a winner. Like, I will watch a Titans game because they're going to run the ball, and they're probably going to win because Derrick Henry carries that team to winning while running the ball. Run the ball! Goodness gracious. Now I'm fired up. Woo! Lions Nation, one pride, baby. I want to see them do well. I'm so excited for the NFL to start. I'm so excited for college football. We'll get into that in a second. My 4th point for the Detroit Lions, for the keys to success. We need to find a way to improve the quarterback depth. David Blau and Tim Boyle are not they are not it at the backup quarterback position. That Cleveland game last year, the Lions should have won that. And the Atlanta game, the Lions should have won that. But Tim Boyle, man bun wearing Tim Boyle. First off, Tim Boyle, please cut your hair. Don't wear the man bun. You're not an elite samurai. You're not something cool. You're not a great UFC fighter or something like that. You have to earn that man bun. And you, sir, have definitely not earned it. But a way to improve the quarterback depth. Make a trade. Have a signing. Sign somebody in free agency. You could sign Colin Kaepernick for all I care. He's better than what we've got behind Jared Goff. Because if Jared Goff starts to stink and he goes down with an injury, I want somebody in the game where I can be like, okay, I don't have to hold my breath for that long. And I know what I'm getting. Just do something. So, the 5th point is, I wrote down, while the defense has room to grow, the offense needs to make a leap this year. And that starts at the quarterback position. Jared Goff, if he takes care of the football, the offense remains healthy, they have the right pieces. We have the best center in all of football, Frank Ragnow. We have Penei Sewell, who we were very fortunate enough to get in the draft, and he had a stellar rookie season. I love Penei. That man is a beast. He is a football player, and that is what we have here in Detroit. But the offense needs to make a leap because the defense is young. Same with the offense. The whole team's young. The roster's young. The defense will eventually figure it out. They will eventually find what they're good at, and we'll be able to game plan and stop opposing offenses. But the offense needs to spot us some points. That's my take on it. While the defense has room to grow, which they will, and it will be, the first couple of weeks might be frustrating, the offense needs to make a leap to be competitive. Overall, that is how I feel about the Lions. And like I said before, I am very passionate about this football team. I have seen them lose for so long. and the firing of Jim Caldwell still haunts me to this day. And seeing that short little bearded man with a backwards hat and a pencil in there give me nightmares. Matt Patricia, you ruined what we had. Ford family, what the hell were you thinking? Jim Caldwell was a very successful coach. Like, the Lions were fine with him. We were okay. We made the playoffs. But just because Matt Patricia was a rocket scientist and was a part of that Belichick coaching tree doesn't mean we should fire a coach that just had a winning record. He had a winning record overall as the Lions head coach. Like, we were fine where we were at. I was okay with how the Lions were playing. Yes, we weren't winning playoff games. But that came down to our defense. That comes down to the GM. Draft a defense, sir. But now we're in the right direction. Brad Holmes, I am really starting to become a fan of yours. I am a fan, but I might become your number one fan, especially after this past draft. You knocked it out of the park. You, my friend, did a great job. Excellent 2 years of drafting. Now, let's see what Dan Campbell can do. Yes, the players started to rally around him the second half of the season. But I need to see more. I'm hungry for success. I want to see more from you, Dan Campbell. I want to see more from you, Mr. Jared Goff. I want to see more from you, Mr. Aaron Glenn. Get the defense right. And my favorite player on the Lions, Mr. Aiden Hutchinson. I am going to be your number one supporter, high and low, all season, your entire career, as long as you are here in Detroit. I hope you are a Lion for life. So I hope you are what we needed on the defensive side of the ball to turn this ship around. Josh Paschal, great draft pick. Great. And we got some great special teamers. And for the 2023 season, when Jameson Williams is healthy and Amon-Ra St. Brown will be in his third year and Hawkinson will stay in Detroit, Penei Sewell in his third year, Jared Goff hopefully gets back to his Super Bowl self. I hope the Lions are a force to be reckoned with. And they go up to Lambeau and they beat the Packers. And they go down to Soldier and they beat the Bears. The Bears. And they go over to Minnesota and they beat up on the Vikings. But it comes with time. So I will be patient. Yes, it will be frustrating, like I said, but I will be patient. But I can only be patient for so long. And that is how I feel about the Detroit Lions. And that's how I feel they are going to do in the 2022 NFL season. 8-9. They won't have, as the NBA would call it, a lottery pick. But they will be a very competitive team. No, they will not make the playoffs. But they will show me something this season that they are at least moving in the right direction. That's all I want to see. But next, we will be talking a little college football, a little bit of Michigan and Michigan State.